today we got the Lycaon Swift belt. So this board comes in at $7.99 US right now. I think it's got a $30 off code currently, but I've seen it as low as $6.99. That's for the belt version. It has two 850 watt Hobbywing motors. So those Hobbywing motors are paired with this Hobbywing remote, as I'm sure you've seen many times. The interesting thing about this board is that it has the Smart ESC in it, so these belt motors can be swapped out for hub motors, which gives you a bit of the best of both worlds in the same deck. So the most noticeable thing on this board is the massive battery enclosure there, sitting in at 466 watt hour with Samsung cells. Originally when I first saw this board, I automatically dismissed it due to the size of this. I think it's pretty hideous in contrast to the deck, which I think is quite nice. Lycaon we're going to do a second version of this board. I would like to see them shrink this down a little bit while retaining the same battery size, so maybe stretch it over if possible. And definitely it hasn't really been a bad board in terms of scraping. You can see I've scraped it a couple of times here. We'll take it out for a spin and I'll go over some speed bumps to show you that it can do that alright, but you can catch it. The path's a little bit bumpy or has roots growing under it, anything like that. Currently buzzing around my old university campus, University of Sunshine Coast, and this is a great little board for buzzing around to and from class. It's a uni campus. Range would almost last you the whole week going to and from class if you live close by. I sat all my uni exams in here. So the deck is 8-ply Canadian maple with 1-ply fiberglass in there. It's really a stiff deck, which makes you feel really nice and safe. It doesn't bounce around too much. We have a slight drop down in the deck here, as well as this concave, W concave, which keeps you really locked in. So the Hobbywing motors, you can swap these out with actually rated 750 watt as opposed to the 850 watt on the belt, and I think for some reason they have different trucks as well. So these trucks are Paris clones, and I think they are 1 inch wider on the belt than the hub as well. So it's rated IP54 for dust and splash. I've noticed that probably after 150 k's or so of riding, it's a little bit loose around the ESC there. So certainly you'd want to tighten that up and seal it a little bit if you were gonna take it in the odd splash and rainy weather, but I wouldn't advise that anyway. So the deck comes in at 36.6 inches. Really, I'd say that's on the shorter side. It makes it pretty easy to pick up and throw around, chuck it in the car and go out for a spin. And for commuting, stuff like that, it's certainly easy enough to throw around. I'm on the shorter side, 5'6", so I feel like it is certainly going to be a shorter board for someone who's a bit taller than that. And comparing to the Lycaon TRX that I'm sitting on, I definitely have to change my stance to fit on the board, and I don't quite feel as locked in because of that shorter length. So if you're on the taller side, I would try one out probably before putting in an order, or at least trying out a shorter deck before you go ordering this one. So it comes standard with these 90mm wheels. I can't say too much good or bad about them. I've spent most of my time riding this board with 105's clouds, I would definitely say because of that bigger battery, it benefits from the extra 15mm there with the clouds, and you feel a bit safer. This board is super quick, so any hidden bumps and rocks and stuff, those clouds really eat them up. So if I was ordering this board again, I would order it with the clouds, because I haven't spent too much time on these wheels at all. They're a 78 A durometer, but as I said, nothing too special, pretty stock standard Lycaon wheels. I would like to see Lycaon offer it with a couple of wheel variations, so you could skip the 90mm. Urethanes here, even 100mm would be a good option to have. I see it paired on the website with the option of the 115 rubbers that I've got here on this board. I probably wouldn't go that big since it is a shorter deck. I think 105 is the sweet spot for this deck here. Also, I'll take it out and do a range test with these wheels on it and the 105s to know what you're getting into, and you can see the difference in range. I do think these smaller wheels, you get a bit more torque out of them, but the cloud wheels still provide enough torque, and then you've got that great top speed of 50-55 kilometers an hour. Alright, we got a big hill here at the school. I'm in pro mode. Just checking how we get up here. Pushing up to full throttle now. Losing a lot of revs. Past the worst of it. I don't think you're going to find a hill too much steeper than that. Going down the same hill in pro mode now. Test out the brakes here. Could have quite easily got us to a full stop, which is excellent. Do a bit of a makeshift speed test. K's before I took off there. Turn it back around. Alright, we're at a stop on pro mode, full battery, so we'll give it full throttle and see how we go. Fairly stable, 45, 46, just got to 50 there, and it still had more room to go. Really quick board for the price. So overall, I'd say it's a really competitive mid-range to entry-level board at that $7.99 US mark, and as I said earlier, you can get a little bit cheaper, maybe $100 cheaper on sale as well. I think it's a good all-round board. It's got that high top speed. I think it goes up to 50. It's rated for. I've been up to 56 kilometers an hour on the clouds, so that's really impressive. Which means you can, if you can get the belt version and put some clouds on, you have a little bit of off-road, go over grass and stuff like that. So you can do a few things with the belt variation of the board. I would advise going the belt variation because you have more options when it comes to putting on different wheels as well. So I wouldn't say it's the most carvy board. It has the single kingpin trucks, so you're not going to get the biggest carve out of it, but I think it's a really nice board for picking up, running down to the shops, going a few kilometers to work. You don't have to worry about battery on this. It has that huge battery, Samsung cells, so it's going to last well if you take care of it, and I don't have any complaints about it at all.